Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the After Action Report. You are not going to be getting video from me today. I'm having some issues, so I apologize for that. But we do want to go ahead and take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor, Admiral Tater's Ship Shop. If you are looking for the absolute best in war game accessories, this is the place to go. Got tons of stuff for Star Trek Armada. Yeah, Star Trek Armada. That's great. Star Wars Armada. You've probably seen that at tournaments. He is currently putting a lot of stuff together for Leviathans, and he's also got stuff for Warhammer. So check out Admiral Tater's Ship Shop. If he doesn't have it on the site, then you can ask him about it. He may have some stuff in the works. Always something that is worth checking out. And since we do not have my image today, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into the group shot here, and you'll get to see that failed to start camera in my box the whole show. I don't get to be expressive this time around. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Apparently I've been better. So we got Garrett.
Hey, everybody.
We got Reuben.
Hey, y'all. We
got Nick.
Hey, good to see you guys.
And we've got the unseen commentator. So before we get started into tonight's topic, we have a variety of war game news. I think you had something you wanted to share with folks, Reuben?
I sure do. According to a Wargamer magazine article from, let's see here, I'm looking at it right here. 2 weeks ago, as of today, the StarCraft miniature game, StarCraft War Game, is going to be pre-ordering March 10th. There's going to be a two-player founder starter box that has Zerg and Terran in it. So Marines, Medics, Geomariner, Marauders, Zerglings, Roaches, Hydralisks, Kerrigan. If you know anything about StarCraft, that'll make sense to you. If you don't, it's all great. That's fine. Potentially, there will be sales at Adepticon for the starters, which is a big deal for me, because if there is, I might pick some up. There's also going to be a Protoss-only starter box. So there's like a two-player starter, and then like this, they're calling it a Founders box. So, since it's not a Kickstarter, but it's like an army box from Warhammer, equivalently. And then last thing is through 2026, there are, it looks like bi-monthly releases planned. So vehicles, more infantry, new characters, all that kind of stuff for each faction. So it's not just going to be Protoss 1 month, Terran 1 release, Zerg 1 release. It's going to be a new unit type for each faction, each release, which is a wild amount of support, because obviously that they've been putting a ton of time into the production of this game.
Now, do we have any tournaments or anything that people need to be aware of?
Well, we've got our hold on. I was trying to look this up while Ruben was talking about his game magazine. Leviathans got to be on the Game Trade magazine cover.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's some pretty good money they shelled out for some marketing, because that magazine will be in everybody's hands at Adepticon.
Ooh.
Because I think that goes in like the goodie bags. I know I get one every year at Gen Con. I don't know. I think I got one at Adepticon too. But anyways, we have our February 7th event this weekend coming up. So that's exciting. We need to make sure the Ohio guys get invited.
If you want to travel from further, you're welcome to travel from further. We like to see players.
Come play boats with us, please. Bring extra minis so I can buy them from you. I need Brits and French
and dice.
I need those.
Plain packs.
I like tried to source like and
I need a Ragnar box.
Real time getting 12-sided polyhedrals.
I know it, right?
I Ragnar box. I just keep forgetting to bring the stuff out of it.
Well, we're hoping that we've got some stuff coming in. I know the last message that I had is our venue will not have product for our event, unfortunately, but it sounds like shortly thereafter there will be product. So, fingers crossed.
It seems like, based on what the response you got from your order and some of the stuff that I'm seeing coming out of the Kickstarter backer emails, that we're pretty sure that it's going to be like, what is it, February now? Like April retail ish? Something like
I
that?
was we were told April 1st, but I don't know, sometime around there.
Well, as far as games that we have played, last week's stream was. Oh, we've lost Garrett.
Lost Garrett.
He was looking kind of choppy there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because he was the one that was. He was one of the two on the stream last week. You and he were on the stream. Got to play Invasion for the first time, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun mission as first player.
As first
That
player,
is certainly some way to put it.
Yeah.
we have to specify. Just I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. What's some of the concerns about it as second player then?
I would say, I mean, the big concerns I think as second player is that you're forced to split your fire between your opponent's fleet and the transports. And even if you kind of take pot shots at the transports, if you're not able to really commit to a kill on them, your opponent can just get so many points off of them. Because they get 200 points for everyone they land, and that's more than like any destroyer, and that's about the same as most cruisers. Give or take 20, 10, 20 points. So like, if they land a transport, you're already like, I have to kill a cruiser or more without losing anything to make up the difference. They don't have anything else to shoot at, so that's what happened in my game against Garrett, was that he had to spend the first 2 rounds, or I guess rounds 2 and 3, shooting the transports. And we talked about the dice rolls were really unfavorable for him. But because you kind of don't know how the dice are going to go, you have to make that commitment. And so he puts his battleship all guns into the transports, and my battleship's flying straight at him, And so on turn 4, he starts shooting my ships for the first time. I've already blown off guns, armor slots, crew slots, and my ships are completely fresh. And so it feels very advantageous in a way that none of the other scenarios really feel like they favor one player or the other.
Mm-hmm. I think generally, like my theory, strategy going into it, you really want to kill one transport, and probably any more than that is potentially an overcommit because of the rest of the opponent fleet shooting at you. Because if you kill one transport and they deliver 2, they get 400 points and you get 250. So you can at least like try to manage that by killing more. It's still difficult. I just think it's too much because of how hard it is to kill the transports in a number of attacks, like volume of attacks,
Yeah.
difficulty sense, not like breaching them. It's just you need so many attacks to get through that if you spend 2 or 3 turns doing that, you're just going to get blown away by their actual fleet shooting at you.
Right.
So we don't really have a good answer on how to deal with it as player 2 because we haven't experimented a ton with a bunch of like ramming techniques. We haven't experimented a ton with specific strategies of torpedo placement, that kind of thing, and like map picks. There might be some ways where you can manage the threat of invasion as player 2. And personally, I think it's better that invasion is fairly first player favored, because otherwise I think that maps and clouds are way stronger than picking a mission, because like Nick said, most of the missions are crap, frankly. Like, they're just bad. They don't give you any benefit. They don't force an engagement anywhere. They don't give you an advantage as first player that's meaningful, where a player 2 can't just like sit there and snipe one of your things or not engage you, right? You don't get to dictate the pace of the game as player one. But with invasion, you actually can. And we'll talk about how you like fork with that later on in the episode.
Yeah, there's because I mean, like tug of war and control points can kind of encourage an engagement, but like even then, it's not that hard to contest the objectives
Mm-hmm.
and kind of make it a neutral play. Whereas an invasion, like it requires commitment.
Yep.
So later on down the line, we are going to do a show talking about all of the different scenarios. So, but
Mm-hmm.
the conversation surrounding invasion was such that I felt like it deserved a little bit of time at the start of the show here.
Oh yeah. The prisoner's dilemma of it is really, really compelling. It's one of my favorite parts of playing Leviathans is actually the pregame.
Yeah. But tonight's topic, we are going to discuss another style of fleet build, which is MSU. So, would either of you like to lay out what MSU is in Leviathans?
Sure. So, MSU fleets in Leviathans are fleets that have only a battle cruiser as their required ship. So, as a review, every fleet in Leviathans has to have at least a battleship or a battle cruiser, and it may contain both. So, MSU being multiple small units, it follows logically that if you have only a battle cruiser, which is typically your cheapest of your required ships, you're playing a multiple small units fleet. Now, from that point, you have two options of construction and then a third thing that you might do a little bit of. And that's primarily, will you bring a cruiser or not? If you bring a cruiser, it seems to be that right now the points work out to about a cruiser and 2 destroyers with your battle cruiser. And if you don't bring a cruiser, you can typically bring about 4 destroyers in a fleet, at least based on what Chris has built.
I will say you have to work to get those 4.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're giving up a
fine
lot
right there.
you're giving up a lot to get that 4th destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing around with it a little bit too. You can. It also kind of depends on if you want to bring planes or not. I was having trouble, like if you wanted to bring a cruiser and 2 destroyers, and like say like a 20 or 30 point admiral, you get in that weird spot where you don't have enough points to bring another destroyer, but then you're bringing 100 points in planes and still having like a 40 point bid because you're just at that weird
Interesting,
break point. You could do battle cruiser, double cruiser, and then like have points for a destroyer. But you start. That's almost to say that's not even MSU anymore because we're kind of getting back to like more traditional. That's more a traditional archetype.
I thought that was the question of that too, because in my opinion, one of the biggest pros of playing MSU is the information advantage of having low type ships where you see all of your opponent's movements and then you can commit your destroyers or not. And the minute you start bringing more cruisers, you're really kind of undermining, in my opinion, what the whole conceit of an MSU fleet is, given how this game works. Is going, okay, I have small stuff, but I see your game state perfectly and I can attack it perfectly.
Now, given my experimentation and what I was looking at when I actually looked at extreme MSU, which when I say extreme MSU, I mean the battle cruiser and 4 destroyers. And when I looked at that, I got to look at all of the destroyers in the different factions and everything. And I've kind of made an observation to which each faction seems to have 1 or 2 destroyers that are more like pocket cruisers. So you could actually do what would be the battle cruiser and 3 destroyers, but it would play more like a battle cruiser, a cruiser, and 2 destroyers, and you would still have that information advantage. For example, the Beagle for the British fleet, that is a pocket cruiser. It's almost as tough as a cruiser. It's got the guns that a cruiser would have. It's just faster and falls into that one slot.
Okay. Interesting. And the next question about fleet construction of MSU is whether or not you go into full squads. I think that it's probably not what you want to do, and we'll talk about why as we talk about other like advantages, disadvantages, and strategy. But it kind of seems that you really use up a lot of your points on ships, even though it's small ones. You're still like 180, 150 points per.
Yeah.
So when you do that 3 or 4 times, suddenly your whole budget is gone.
Pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not
And
not running into a lot of space for admirals either.
I don't think
Right.
you can afford planes because if you're bringing MSU, you have to bring that extra ship to be able to kill the enemy because you just need the dice. And planes aren't going to do that.
Well, there is one small exception to that. If at all possible, you want a spotter. Okay?
Yes.
Because that's giving, if you're running 5 ships, 4 of which are destroyers, that extra green die on each of your ships, even if it's only 1 shot per ship, that's still a lot of extra dice that you're throwing in there with your whole group.
That's a good point.
If you can afford 30 points for the green spotter and 20 points for a green fighter, that's 50 points. But it's 50 points and it keeps your spotter alive the whole game, basically.
Yeah.
Most of the builds that I was looking at can't afford that fighter. It's just the spotter. So you're getting it early on, and then you're going to lose it. You just know you're going to lose that spotter unless they're flying with no squads at all.
Yeah, I'd be desperate to try to fit that 20-point green fighter in, just to keep the firepower up the rest of the game.
Yeah. I think going with planes kind of helps add to the MSU vibe, the feel of having a lot on the board. But it definitely you're kind of talking about well, do you bring a destroyer or do you bring 100 points in planes? Bringing the spotter is kind of just comes down to, do I take the cheapest cruiser or cheapest destroyer I can to fit that spotter in there? It's definitely helpful, especially a lot of your smaller ships that may only have 1 or 2 shots meaningfully. But it's almost a numbers game. The spotter becomes less effective when you have for example, British and Germans have a lot of guns in their ships. You don't need the spotter as much because you're already throwing 4 shots. You're only getting the spotter on that 1 shot. That's how that's just how I feel about it.
And I think it's a style thing with the spotters too, because I play Italians primarily right now, and they're so blue-yellow bracketing gun focused that I don't see a lot of benefit of the spotter when I'm making, typically on my go turns, I'm making 4 attacks per ship because I've figured out the math now, and I don't bracket at close range because the yellows with the D12 location dice or battleships 2 location dice can just spike way out of control and just blow stuff away. So adding a green to my saturation attacks when I only have typically 2 in my whole fleet, to me just isn't worth the value of the 30 points of it, which is an interesting different opinion that I have about spotters than most of the other people here that typically play them.
Well, the issue that I had when I was looking at MSU for the Italians is that their destroyers are way more expensive than they should be for what they're giving you. They are really, really bad.
Ships are 20 points overcosted.
And
every single one.
The only way that I could find that I thought Italian MSU even halfway worked, at least as far as the extreme version where you're running the battlecruiser and 4 destroyers, was really, really focusing on board control through massive amounts of torpedoes. I mean, the fleet is going to be putting out 15 torpedoes every turn and just trying to flood the board to where you're either forcing them to move in a place that is so bad they are not going to get you, or they're going to have to choose how much of this damage they're going to take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wonder if you could actually even kill a ship with torpedoes. Actually just 4-0, nothing but torpedo attacks. Because it's just so hard to control.
It only helps. It only helps.
Yeah. Yep.
And sometimes it's all you need though, right? Like one damage slot. If you take
Yep.
out like a Tesla
One armor
coil,
slot down is huge.
one armor
Yep.
slot, one gun, the
Taking a
crew.
gun, the crew.
I don't know. There's so many things that
Oh
it can
yeah.
take out that can just steamroll something.
Yeah. That's why like my MSU, like, and we've played handful of games at this point, so it's hard to even say I have a philosophy of anything. My design behind my MSU list, my Russian list, was having torpedoes, having like 5 or 6 torpedoes, because I'm running a battle cruiser with a bunch of like smaller ships. I really don't want to go toe to toe with a battleship because I just don't think I can trade that fast enough, right? I don't think my MSU fleet is going to kill a battleship before my battleship kills half my fleet. So I bring torpedoes to knock out, put 4 or 5 torpedoes in a battleship's face, try to knock out a gun, try to knock out its ability to kill me, so I can make a dive on it, kill the destroyer cruiser, and then fly away. I'm not under any illusion that my torpedo fleet is going to kill a battleship, right?
Mm-hmm.
My philosophy when I was running this on Thursday was essentially I am drawing you out with my battle cruiser, and I am swinging the destroyers around in a pack to focus fire and get the one ship at a time. And I mean, second turn I took out one of his destroyers without a lot of effort. Of course, also I'm using sniper guns from the British, so that helps. The Maeve King is just a really, really, really good ship. But the issue that I ran into with that, and I think overall it was a good strategy. It works well, but you have to be careful what ships you're picking because their speeds have to be fairly close. I didn't feel bad about 3 of the ships. I had a speed 10, a speed 9, and a speed 8, and I could pretty well keep them together in a what is the medium or the light map, the light obstructed map, using
Highlands.
One.
What's
or
that?
Or Highland Mountain one.
Yeah, I think Highland Mountains was what we did.
Is it the one with the 3 mountains on each?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Highland Mountains 1.
Okay, so, I was able to swing the destroyers around the mountains, at least the ones with the speed 10, 9, and 8. But then I had one destroyer that was speed 6, and it kept me from doing a follow-up after I took out the first ship. It really kept me from being able to focus fire the way that I needed to. So watching what your speeds are on your destroyers is very, very, very important.
Could it have hung out with Maeve King? Or are they the same speed?
It's one speed fast. It would have done better hanging out with the Maeve King, but then the issue is the Maeve King is just outranging the guns on the destroyer.
Oh, okay.
So they can't really concentrate fire together. Now, the other good news is that after you've done your initial, first strike with the MSU, then after your battle cruiser has absorbed some damage, you are still in a really, really great position to move one of your destroyers for defensive screening. And that helped me out as well. So I like the concept of the build. It needs some tweaks from what I ran, though, because, again, that speed was a major factor.
I think MSU is absolutely the least experimented with of the triangle of build archetypes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting. I really enjoyed it when I played it. I only flew it twice, basically the same list twice. I had a lot of fun with it because the maneuverability, not having a battleship just means your opponent's battleship always goes first, so you always can react to it. Battle cruisers are not fast, so it's hard to say that you can play cagey and you can get away from them because they're barely more maneuverable than battleships. but having everything else that's able to get in position, it makes things like reinforcements and breakthrough a lot more manageable. But I get why everybody wants to fly battleships. They're fun. They're tanky. They can throw a lot of dice. So I do get that. But yeah, I think MSU is really fun. I think there are certain builds and certain ways you can fly the MSU list that I want to see maybe some more experiments with.
I think it comes down to if one of the factions you like has a really good battle cruiser, because the Italian ones are kind of only okay. So the like flagship of my fleet being kind of only okay, on top of the Italian battle like destroyers being 20 points over costed pretty much all the way down the line, just kind of makes it not an archetype that the faction as it stands with its points values right now can really accomplish effectively.
I would feel comfortable running one of 3 factions in MSU, at least as far as the 4-destroyer version of MSU. The other 2 I would just stay away from, and I really do want to try the other 2 builds that I had been looking at. First one, is German. Just the survivability of the German ships makes that interesting, especially if you throw in the Airman generic Admiral card, so that if you destroy an armor slot, guess what? I'm still going to use the armor slot on the destroyers anyway.
The only concern I have with German destroyer swarm is they have a lot of armor. They can't damage fast enough. A lot of them have like 1 gun on the front, and then maybe side guns, and it's just not. I don't think it's enough firepower. So I think you're like forced into taking at least a grief class to just get dice on the table. That's my biggest concern. You can fit quite a few, but like some of these higher point destroyers, they really start trading off. They fly like bricks, even though they're destroyers. A destroyer having to move like 2 to 3 hexes before it can turn is devastating.
Yeah.
And like none of them have steering gear.
The other one that I was looking at is the Russian MSU. And I mean, yes, again, you're talking about, throwing less dice, but on the other hand, the precision crews make up for a lot of that, I think, because you're getting to choose where the shots are going to some degree. And again, I think they would do well with the airman slot, the airman generic admiral as well. Although with the build that I was looking at, if you got rid of the airman, you could actually have both the spotter and the green fighter, like you were suggesting, and that could work. I mean, that would be right at 1,000 points.
I'll second. I think Russia is a pretty good MSU faction. It's kind of what got me to start thinking about them, is because all their ships have that blue crew. When your destroyers and tend to have smaller guns, so you're throwing blues and maybe yellows at close range instead of like your reds and yellows that bigger ships get. But you get that blue crew to make up for it, so you can kind of trade. You can play that maneuverable game and trade like at long range, and just kind of, on average, your dice might spike a little bit more because you have that blue D blue.
Yeah, I want to take a second look. I'm not sure what the speeds are on these destroyers now. I've just got the list, and I don't have the actual
Russia's got
builder up.
9 to 12. Yeah, 9 to 12 on Russian destroyers. They have a couple like heavier ones that are slower.
Yeah, what's the speed of the Subda?
The Subda is speed 9.
And then the Vaznik?
Vadnik is it's also a Berkut. That's your speed 9. Yep, those are your tankier ones.
Nadezel or Nadezda?
Nadezda speed 12. That's speed 12. That's what I always fly.
And then Pelican?
Pelican. That's the really cheap one.
Yeah.
Speed 8.
I know.
Yep.
I know we were dogging on the Italian destroyers, but the French have even worse destroyers.
Oh, yeah, no, it's pretty ugly.
I wouldn't take a French destroyer ever
I think they've
for
got
any reason.
okay. I like the HE torpedo ones. Specifically for
bro, they have like 8 armor.
Only 4. 8 armor? What do you mean? I'm supposed to be afraid of 8 armor? Have you seen an Italian cruiser? It's got 9s.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Like 8
and like
8 armor and 19 SI is what I fly as cruisers, man. Come on.
2 HE torpedoes.
Yeah.
Aren't gonna do anything for you.
They're going to zone at more overall hexes than what 2 regular torpedoes will, and it'll defensive screen. That's the only reason I'm going to fly them. But that's
I am not afraid of a yellow torpedo ever.
Yeah, I'd fly my battleship right through that.
It'll be 2 of them right next to each other.
Yellow, never. I wouldn't even worry about it. I wouldn't even waste a plane to go shoot at it. Yellow dice. Red torpedoes barely hit. A yellow torpedo?
Yeah.
No. They gotta add something to those.
Averaging 12, 13.
It's so bad.
Because the guns are not good. You're right.
Their ranges are like 4 and 8.
And weirdly, they have high AA.
And what's worse, I don't think you could run French MSU without torpedo sights. It's just not an option.
French MSU is Bacone class. You get to bring some cruisers, and that's your build.
Can you conceptually fit battlecruiser 3 cruisers? Can we do that? Is that even
in
possible?
France?
Just generally.
If you take their bad Facone cruisers.
Okay.
I think they're limited to like battle line.
Big heavy and battle line.
Big heavy. I don't even know if they have big heavy.
Most of the factions
I think they're just battle line.
Yeah. Most of the factions, with how the points are on some of the less well-designed ships, just make them kind of not usable. So you're kind of stuck building whatever the 2 to 3 options of good ships you have in your faction as that style of fleet right now. So hopefully we'll get a points adjustment a little bit after release, and maybe we'll open up some more archetypes for the factions.
Like they have the Liberté class, Pontebrand.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds okay. 250 points. Okay. Its side guns are 4 and 6. Blue-green. Just
close range.
Brutal. They have blue crew, but like just black side dice, you're so done. That ship is getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I saw the British also have cruisers that have 4 of their blue-green guns in their sides with no turrets. So I'm like, I've seen this across 3 of the factions, and none of us play them because we all understand that turret good. So I don't know about all these French 75s just stapled to the side of a ship.
Yeah, it's like real life. It's crazy. It's like we're sitting at a
it's right in pre-dreadnought
in 1905.
era.
And we're like, get this crap out of here. We only want turrets.
It goes into battle, and then the designers figure out that it sucks, and that's when it blows up.
Which is kind of unfortunate because that's most of these ships.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I remember the playtesters talking about. I think the devs were looking at the game is supposed to be pre-dreadnought like ship design, but like therein lies the immediate problem with pre-dreadnoughts. That awkward era from 1865 to 1900.
Our game's dreadnought is the Kaiser with heartburn, and it just like eats all these smaller, crappier ships just every time.
And every faction has that. Battleship
Jean Bart
turrets. Except maybe Russia. Russia, did you have a turret on the side battleship?
No, I don't have turrets. I don't think I have turrets on the side of any of my ships. That's why I thought it was
That's
really
accurate.
funny. I thought it was really funny to see, like looking at other factions and being like, "What do you mean you have turrets in your 4-port?"
Have you seen
Yeah.
an Italian ship? It's just
It's all turrets and Britain turrets. The
Yeah,
Jean Bart. The Jean Bart.
mhm.
I'll say this: the Maria battleship has a turret, bracketed turret in the
A wing turret.
4-port and
One
starboard.
turret. One turret.
One turret, yeah. That's the thing. The most of the battleships are like they have short range guns, the 4.8s, the 5.10s.
Hmm.
It's our main gun right in the front. That is our saturation turret, red, yellow, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, looking.
Yep.
The Garrett, the one I flew against you had like the 75 mils in the side, like the 4-port and 4-starbirds at 275 mils with bracket,
Yeah.
range 4.8 blue green.
Yeah. That was a really good game for you to have that ship with
Yeah.
that stat. Because, like, I was not shooting you at all. I was
No,
trying to shoot those transports.
I know I had all my repair crews and everything on standby, ready to like keep the fight going, and then you just never shot me. So I was like, well, I guess I'll
That's how you shoot them.
I guess I'll just hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no
it
problem.
was funny.
Our 1 hex broadside with the Kaiser.
Oh man, that's nasty.
And I
it was-
still didn't get any damage.
Are
No,
your
you
gunners
did. You did.
cross-eyed?
You shot the Pilata. That was the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Pilata's always a trap, unless you
Yeah,
can roll lucky.
He was putting and that's why I keep it out of close range because it's got pretty good armor values in the sides. And if everything's shooting the Pilata, like the battleship just has no fear. Like just bring it in, ram with it.
Yeah.
if you
Well,
have
that's the
to.
worst
Like,
part. So, like, in Leviathans, period, if you don't start shooting at a ship in round 2, a battleship in round 2, you will not have time to kill it by round
Yep.
Right.
6.
Pretty much.
Uh,
Unless it's Italian.
even if it's Italian, you can, like,
I damn near
Escape.
lost Vesuvius versus Kate. Like it was skin of my friggin' teeth, man.
yeah,
Like-
but you can just slide across the board.
you don't
Away.
count points. You don't count points for almost dead.
I thankfully, because boy do I fly out of games with a lot of Swiss cheese ships. Because I don't got no armor, so it's just through and throughs every time.
That's just efficient resource management.
Efficient design, yeah. Me clenching my ass every time that I play, going, "Oh, don't shoot my battleship! It's not tanky." Oh man, but
None of your
I'm
ships
going to
are.
be trying the Julius this week. So
Built a
I guess
mock.
I'll have 13 armor on my battleship. That's like well armor.
I
I
put together
guess
like a mock Italian fleet. I don't know, man.
It's hard. That's the only answer.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be trying to run a Russian fleet just to see if my theories hold true.
Yeah, I'll bring the ships and whatever you fly whatever you want.
I want to do tight spin evasions. That's just the cool. It's like my favorite ammo card because it's just cool. Just ship doing a hard break. That's just neat.
I will say, Chris, if you want to do 4 destroyers, we'll have to like just use a different one. I only have 3.
Okay.
Just fly the Pilata, Chris. It's awesome.
Well,
Like
it'll
straight
just
into your
be
veins.
proxies.
Just Pilata.
Yeah. You should bring the Pilata cruiser though.
It's so good. It's my nemesis. It's my least favorite.
It's everybody's nemesis. It's the only ship that gets shot at every game I play.
It's an asshole.
I think I'll drop the Kaiser this week, and I'll bring the Saxon, which is the battle cruiser for Germany. It's really slow, but I can fit. I don't know. It's not that great. I'm having a hard time justifying it. I'm like, okay, I'll bring the Grief and Hamburg, and then the Wolf, and there's my points. It's okay. It's got pretty good armor. It has armor on the rear, which is
Interesting. Okay.
which is really good. That armor on the rear, then it goes from it's like average 15 armor on the rear with the +2 breach. So that's kind of nice.
That's weirdly high.
Yeah. So maybe it won't die. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It
Maybe.
nothing stands up to a 28 breach roll. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end
Ain't
of,
that
at the
the
end of the
truth?
day, at the end of the day, it
30,
just kind of comes down.
36, 38,
Oh,
40. I think you were about to breach 40.
I don't think I got that close. I think I got like
You were getting
34
there.
or
You
something
were,
like that.
you
But
hit you had like 2 black dice, both
the
rolled
yeah
12s.
the like the double 12 roll was like spicy. Um, that was why. It was crazy because everything was close range, and I was like, every gun is shooting. Every gun in my fleet is shooting that one hull zone of the Kaiser. So like, I'm not even gonna bracket. I'm just gonna roll with that double black full stop, and every single one
oh.
penetrated. That was I think I
Yeah.
made like 7 or 8 breach rolls before I got the kill on it,
That was a
or
terrible
breaking
spot to be in.
breaking the kill. It was
Because I couldn't let you just shoot the rear. And
no.
oh my gosh. Every ship got to roll into my 4. Holy smokes.
God. No.
So, do you think? Let's start with the pregame stuff. Do you think we're bidding 20 on MSU, or do you think we're bidding 0?
You're bidding 0. You cannot
0.
you cannot
You don't think
bid.
you have the points?
No.
It's like no room.
There
No
might
room.
be some specific faction stuff because, well, like I said, my MSU list had a 40-point bid because I just couldn't do anything with the points. But it was battle cruiser, double destroyer, and then I was like, well, I could either bring another destroyer and not have an admiral or any planes, or I can have an admiral, 100 points in planes, and have a 40-point bid.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like I like precision shots on the Pilata, so I might as well just commit to that, and then I don't have enough points for another destroyer, so then I just bring 100 points in planes.
Yeah, and there you're not really getting. I don't think you're getting much benefit out of battle cruiser and destroyer compared to a battleship and 2 cruisers. Like to
Yeah.
me, it doesn't seem that great of a trade-off. So why try battle cruiser and 2 cruisers?
Like at that point, you're basically saying like, I'm gonna play breakthrough and just play super evasive, hide in clouds, and get 4 ships in your deployment zone.
Yeah, but then you play a battle line fleet that's also 4 ships, and it's battleship, cruiser, destroyer, and now your
Yeah.
breakthrough play doesn't do anything.
I go, I'm playing Germans or Britain, and you need to fly in my deployment zone. Cool. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna guard my red zone, and nothing's gonna survive.
Now, I do think you open with breakthrough. So in the strategy, well, the mission selection phase of pregame, I do think you lead breakthrough because you specifically want to build for it because we're not MSU fleets aren't going to have a tonnage equality with most like an average battle line fleet. Because an average battle line fleet is going to be like 8 tonnage because type 4, type 2, type 1, 8ish. Or they're going to be at like, 8. And then a MSU, this 4 destroyer kind of version is going to be at 7. So tug isn't like,
Yeah, it's hard to pull.
you're not really advantaged with tug, I don't think. So I think you open with breakthrough and you say, I have 5 ships, you only have 4 or 3. So I have the advantage if I'm player 1 here, where I can actually just not play the game with you and win. And I think that's the important part of picking a mission, is picking a mission and going, I don't have to play this game with you. I win. You have to do something. And
I
I
want to
think
propose.
if they ban that, that's when you go to invasion. Go ahead, Nick.
I want to make a proposal here. I think tug of war is actually pretty awesome for MSU, and here's why. I've got 3 ships that are speed 10. You've got a battleship that's speed 5, maybe a battle cruiser speed 4 or 5. I make a type 2 ship. We put it in the middle. I fly my entire fleet speed 10 to 12. I get up there before you have a chance to contest it. I get 4 or 5 movement points on that like type 2 ship, and I just fly it to my side of the board, and then I have to just survive.
That's not bad.
The only thing that can ruin that plan is map.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is why it comes down to you have to make sure you're vetoing the right map.
And player 2 places the boat.
But isn't that before deployment?
Yeah, but player 1 will pick type, player 2 places it.
And I think you do clouds before you do the.
Yeah.
So double check that.
So, clouds are after map.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but before tug of war boat, right? Or is tug of war boat? Yeah, I have to check the exact timing on
it's
that.
nebulous, and
there's probably nothing specific.
There's specifics only for the ones that have control points.
Place a ship place a ship or ship token in the middle hex or the map. Player 1 chooses the size of the ship. Player 2 plays. Just says during setup.
Yeah, it's only the ones that have control points that say before clouds.
Yep.
And that's a thing that in a tournament pack, I would clarify where all those mission things always happen at the same phase timing. Just to like keep everything cohesive together. But that's in the future. I think you do still go to breakthrough. Well, you go to invasion if they ban your breakthrough. Because I think if you've got a well-designed fleet that's the 4 destroyer cruiser battle cruiser thing, I think you might actually pull a ban out of that. And I think invasion would work because the whole problem with playing MSU is you getting shot at.
Right.
And if they're shooting and if you can take your 150 point dummy and go stand it next to 2 troop transports and just YOLO at things, you're getting your benefit of the -1 die. They have to shoot at those and not your 150 point dummy. So you get the attrition advantage always because they can't shoot you first. Even though personally I think that MSU fleets aren't going to have as much damage as like a battle line or big heavy fleet because they don't have a volume of guns. So if you get less gun but you get to always shoot their ships first while they're shooting your transports, I think you're on track.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because again, you most of the time are going to have that maneuver advantage. So, I mean, speed 10 is a lot of distance. So like those cruisers and destroyers, that's the thing about the Pilata, Garrett. The speed 10 with the steering gears means that like, I was taking out the Kaiser's engines on turn 3, I think. Yeah, and I had a cruiser and a destroyer back there shooting the engines on the battleship, and then it couldn't turn after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I'm not sure. Go ahead, Garrett.
I was gonna say, this whole MSU breakthrough plan can just be totally wrecked by the map. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about that. Like, what are you banning? What do you ban?
I think you ban narrow every time.
I think you ban narrow.
Gotta ban narrow. I'm gonna pick heavy.
Sure.
Heavy.
I think heavy is good for MSU.
Heavy's fine for MSU.
I'm gonna pick that map that has the 3 channels and the giant thing, the 2 giant mountains in the middle, and I'm gonna block each of those.
What?
You know what I'm talking about?
The one that's like the 2.
It's got 2 giant mountains. There's this narrow pass in the middle. And then
that's a light obstruction map.
They call that light obstruction?
That's Mountain 1.
Is it? Are you sure?
Yeah, that's Mountain 1.
If it is, well, it's heavy obstruction.
There's only one actually heavy map, and that's Jungle 1, Jungle 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I would counterpoint.
It's so weird how they call those things.
Counterpoint, Garrett.
Whatever. I'd take that map.
You do that, and you start putting your ships, and you spread out to those 3 channels, and I put my entire fleet.
No, I'm waiting for you.
Mm.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
I'm slow, but I'm not slow enough to get stuck on the one side of the map.
If I just wait you out and hide, and then I'm fast enough where I'm in a position. Now, it's hard to do.
I'm also waiting you out.
It's extremely hard to actually delay an engagement in this game, at least right now at my level of play. But if I sit there and I see that you're just moving 1 hex, and I just creep forward, and then I put all 5 of my ships into the touchdown, and you get to shoot me for 1 turn, it's very, very unlikely that you will kill even 1 destroyer, depending on the range.
That would be, if you could not get shot just for 1 round, that would be impressive.
I mean, if you're only moving 1 hex, then yeah, I'm gonna sit in this cloud and full stop.
Sounds like we're gonna have to try it at some point.
Yeah, I'm not a person that's gonna fly MSU personally.
But the second player is not gonna give you clouds.
They might.
Sit it. I wouldn't give you clouds.
I wouldn't either, honestly. Like, I just don't think you ever pick clouds against a more maneuverable, like smaller, like more, MSU fleet.
See, I think you do, but what you do is you put your heavy down and you block their movement with it. That's
Oh,
what
that's
I'm thinking
fair.
about right
See,
now.
there's another thing you can do. You slap that heavy on one
Yeah.
of those channels, and it ruins one of those channels big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It
And
does.
then you don't have to worry
Like
about
a
spending
massive
2 of
amount.
them.
Yeah.
Yep. It slows them down a ton. That's a big thing I'm thinking about as first player is when they go clouds, how do you mess with their clouds? And you take a heavy cloud and you go, your main approach channel, blonk, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Dang it.
go load up over here. Come on.
Right.
Okay. So if you have bid on MSU, is it worth considering opening with reinforcements? Because personally, I don't think reinforcements is strong enough of a mission because Garrett and I have only played it once, and we both just said, "Oh well, you're not going to engage. I'm not going to engage," and then we just sat there for 3 turns, and then it was a regular game.
I moved forward maximum speed.
Maximum speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's heavily dependent on who your opponent is. I don't think
Yes,
there's a straight rule
100%.
for MSU, because like your opponent can be doing like, oh yeah, I have battleship, battlecruiser, and then like a speed 12 destroyer.
No,
And
I'm
then
saying that you're playing against MSU, and you pick first, and you go,
Yeah.
I present reinforcements to you. Because
do they veto it?
Yeah, do they veto it? Is that a good opening?
I wouldn't do
I'm
it.
not sure.
I wouldn't do it because then my opponent just picks invasion.
Yes, that's
Exactly. That's the fork.
So, but reinforcements is fine if I'm playing MSU because I'm going to put my speed 12 destroyer in reinforcements, and it's just going to be there.
And that's my next question.
Here we go. If you pick reinforcements and they play it, we play it. 3 turns is not enough time for a destroyer fleet to kill a ship. At that point, at the end of at the start of there is not enough time to lay down dice.
Depends on what you're targeting. I mean, it's not enough time to kill a battleship. No,
but I'm not going to give you the target that you want to shoot at. I'm going to hide it.
I also think that if in any case, if you're presenting reinforcements to your opponent because you think it's an advantage for you, as first player, you need to open very aggressively. Because the minute you just sit there and play cagey, you're giving up the whole point of you picking reinforcements. And I only learned that when Garrett and I played.
Yeah, you got to close the distance. You got to close the distance so that you can take advantage of the numbers. Because arguably, you're only taking reinforcements if your opponent has to sit a bigger ship than you do, right?
Mm-hmm. And or if you randomly hit an MSU version that has a bunch of planes in it, then you just put a bunch of their stuff off the board and you try to just dogpile at them.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
it depends. It just depends on your opponent's fleet.
But reinforcements is the only kind of like counter MSU pick I can see in the game right now. Because maybe you feel like you don't want to bid for map and clouds into that specific matchup, depending on whatever you're playing. We don't really know anything that would do that would bid for first for that particular matchup because we haven't played enough of like each of these types of lists interacting with each other inside of each faction. Because a French MSU fleet, we might learn through play eventually. If you're playing a German big heavy fleet, there's specifically this interaction of objectives that you want to open with to punish those types of ships, right? Like their movement is a particular weakness or something. As we develop a really, really holistic understanding of the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is there to be clear. I think it's there play wise to get to that level of skill.
I just don't know that reinforcements is a strong counter pick to an MSU list.
Sure.
Because any MSU list is going to have a destroyer they can afford to sit back.
Especially if you're playing the 4 destroyer list, usually there is going to be one that is the runt of the litter. And sitting it out is not really going to cost you all that much. And at that point, as the MSU player, my plan has shifted just a little bit to where rather than having the 4-ship wolf pack, I'm going to have the 3-ship wolf pack, and the 4th destroyer, when it comes in, is there to screen my battle cruiser.
But to be clear, you're only starting with 2 ships on the board, period.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm
So you're going to get 2, and that's the question. It becomes the question of, is my 1 cruiser, if I'm a battle line fleet, is my 1 cruiser or 2 destroyers that I leave off the board, is it enough points of difference of you having potentially 3 destroyers off the board where I can get a good advantage at the early game?
Honestly, if you're going to, if you only bring in 2 ships and everything else comes in as reinforcements, then as the MSU player, I'm probably going to have my most maneuverable 2 ships, and I'm going to play keep away as best I can and bring in my big ships, my bigger damage ships, hopefully fresh, and hopefully hit you that way.
Possible.
And maybe it's specifically only a bully for big heavy going into MSU, where big heavy is only going to be down a destroyer, and they literally like full send straight at you as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Those first 2 rounds. Maybe that'd work.
I just feel like big heavy would pick control points or something.
I mean,
somewhere
where
you know
is that the MSU fleet is going to sit on that 3rd point uncontested versus big heavy.
Right, but if they're going to be anywhere near those other 2 points, you blast them off the board.
Yep.
We can compare this to, like, in Armada picking contested. Like, what fleets pick contested? The ones that had big guns that they wanted to control where you fight.
Mm-hmm.
And control points is kind of the same deal. Like, player 2 is going to get to put 2 control points down. They're going to put them 2 axes away from each other, and they're going to put their battleship right on top of them. And MSU can't do anything.
Not been my experience with people that have been player 2 on control points.
Well,
I haven't even played control points.
Yeah, I haven't played
I
control
haven't
points.
played it either.
So
you have all of our experience in control points.
So the neon control points, because it's a 2 hex difference, typically what happens in my experience is that player 2 will put 1 down, player 1 puts theirs like really close to the first one and goes, I'm coming there. And then player 2 goes, oh, well, I'm going over here. And like opposite part of the map, right? And then hopefully you have the extra activation of ship that you just go and like stand on your other point. He goes, got it, boss, and has his one type sitting there most of the game. Yeah. Because if you're playing a Battleship 2 cruiser battle line fleet, you are disadvantaged in control points versus a battleship battle cruiser 2 destroyer battle line fleet. Because their extra destroyer just goes and camps on the wide point, and you cannot respond to it without sending a whole cruiser over there, which means you lose the fight of the 2 control points.
Yeah.
Right. At that point, you're just trying to get kills to swing your points.
And it counters, if you even out on the control points, neither of you get it, right?
Yep.
So with that, we have hit the end of the show here. Want to remind everybody that we are going to be streaming on Thursday. Not sure who we're going to have going up against who on that, but we will have that posted probably Wednesday to let you guys know what fleets are going to be run. Any closing notes before we go, guys? Hope to see some of you out on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Good show, guys.
Have a good night, guys. I am going to just fade it out from here since I don't have a camera. Take care, and everybody have a great week.